Absolute madness is broken out in the Apex Legends scene. What is up, peeps? Welcome back to more gaming news. How you doing on this fine and dandy morning? Hopefully you got a beverage with you because EA is now under fire. They are facing tons of backlash for a bit of a controversial reason around their coming up ALGS 160 team LAN. This is going to be an unprecedented event set to happen at some point during this year of 2025, and it's going to be amazing. Like, barring what we're about to discuss, it is going to be so sick to see nearly 500 esports players going head to head in a single event against each other in one game. Like, it has never been done before. I can't say it enough. It's going to be fun to watch. Although the problem lies, the headline is now broke, guys, thanks to Esports GG, that apparently EA will not be paying for the accommodations for all 160 teams. Now, there will be a variety of ways for teams to qualify and to get there. Obviously, the top-end organizations out there will be paying for their players to attend, will be paying for accommodations in flights or whatever is remaining after EA leftover, but EA will only be paying for your flights to the event. So when it comes to hotels and every other extra expense, I don't even know how many people they're going to be paying for exactly. So flights, they're going to pay for. Hotels and everything else, that is on the teams and the players, which has caused a lot of strife in the community. As some people out there consider that to be fair, because if you are a team, and this is, more of the grassroots esports side, you're grinding away, you're going to be you're probably competing for a record amount of prize money as well. If you can actually do well and prove yourself, that way you can afford these kind of things in the future. The flip side of this, it being an ALGS kind of hosted event, right? EA making billions of dollars, that's what people see. And also the fact you're willing to pay for flights, but not the accommodations for some teams out there and players coming from some, lesser well-off regions financially. This can be a difficult thing to afford to do. Even scraping up money-wise, this can be difficult for some teams and players to find the hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to send a 3-man plus staff, if they have a coach or whatever, to an event like this for several days. It can be expensive. I do feel for that. And so when this news first came out, I was like, I really can't fault EA. 500 players or so, just shy of that, hotels for multiple nights. We're talking about hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars by the time they're probably putting out, obviously millions throughout the entire, we're talking about a lot of money, all right? We all know that. But then I was also like, dang, I do feel for, because back in the day, a couple years ago, I've tried to help fundraise money for some teams out there. It is very difficult to even pull from an audience of their fans, right? You put in a lot of work, you can raise maybe $2,000 or $3,000 if you're lucky. And even that, a lot of times, will not cover all your expenses. It is really difficult, but luckily we had a lot of responses out there from pro players also falling on both sides. But what do you guys think? As Hawkins said, I'm all for expanding the LGS to 160 teams to grow the esport, inspire up-and-coming players, and give everyone a chance. But then you got to go all the way and actually give everyone an equal starting fields. The current version just seems half-arsed, in my opinion. It's 2025, and this could have been so easily solved by just doing a designated skin bundle or merchandise for the open LAN, which would have crowdfunded all the travel, accommodation, and then some for the 160 team open LAN. If you're going to do this, do it right or stick to what we already know. That's my personal opinion. And then Nasky saying, pro skins bundled to crowdfund travel plus housing and potentially increase the prize pool with excess. EA can even pocket 90% of it if they wanted to. Would be revolutionary for the esport. Would be amazing to be a part of an esports frontier in the betterment of esports. Then we had Waltzy a bit on the other side saying, I've seen a lot of people complaining about EA not paying for hotels at the open LAN. Talking about MT and him saying we were unsigned our first 2 LANs and pay out of pocket for our boot camp and accommodation during them. I've also seen a lot of other teams do the same. Those complaining need to just compete, in my opinion. If you think you won't earn more than what accommodations cost, then why are you going? Then Hal's saying you have 3 or 4 months to make money for the trip for all those people. That is a dream for them. They just expect handouts because that's what was given before this entire time. And then we had other responses out there. Hal giving a bit more of a lengthy response out there. We had Hawkins responding to my tweet out there as well, giving a bit more detailed information. We even had outsiders of the esport, someone from the Call of Duty scene, that being Methods, former Call of Duty pro. We also have Ebates from the Warzone scene. He gave his thoughts, and everyone out there coming from a bit of a different angle as to what EA could have done, what they should have done. And I'm left feeling at the end of the day, they could have done something. Whether or not they should have, that's really up to you guys, but they certainly could have if they really wanted to. I don't think anyone can deny that. If they really wanted to revolutionize the esport and have a giant crowdfunding event and have a skin bundle, they could have raised millions of dollars. I promise you that. And so I'm left feeling like a little a little weird about this, because at first I didn't fault EA. It's a large expense, but then you kind of open your eyes to what the pro players are saying. If they cared about the esport and they really wanted to put a skin in the game, and they could have crowdfunded, although I'm sure there's extremities there. I'm sure there's things we're not noticing here. I'm sure it's not easy to crowdfund an event like this and go through all of those ornate details with crowdfunding for 160 teams. That's also got to be a headache of a project. So it's difficult, but knowing that it's EA, it certainly could have been done, and it would have been groundbreaking. So EA is under fire for their legendary, set to still happen, unprecedented 160 team open LAN, and we'll keep on covering this one as we get closer and closer to it. Do you guys think EA should have paid out of pocket for accommodations and the flights? Do you think they should have done a fundraiser, or do you think they're in the right for what they're doing right now? Leave a comment down below. Till next time, take care of yourselves, drink up. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.